Good afternoon, academic staff. I wanted to make this video just for the off chance that I may not be here next Wednesday because our baby has arrived. So I wanted to go through our staff meeting agenda real quick on video with you guys. That way, if you have any questions, you can email me, or when I get back, you can stop by and see me. But we'll go through the agenda on the screen here real quick, and you can see a pretty short agenda today. First of all, I just wanted to thank you as a staff for an overall smooth start to the year. We did have several schedule changes, and without a staff that's willing to accept those changes and roll with the punches, it could make for a difficult start of the year, but you guys do a great job with that every year. So I wanted to say thank you. Again, we have a staff here that has a passion for growing the knowledge of our kids. So I encourage you to continue that. Continue them to help develop as young adults by being the positive role models that you guys always are. So again, thank you. A few things coming up. Next month, OGTs, we sent out a list to all of you with those kids that will be testing. We do have quite a few kids again that are testing this year, so we will run on a 2-hour delay schedule that week. As we get closer to OGT week, we will send out schedules to the kids with their testing locations and their tutoring locations. So again, remember how we did tutoring last year on the day before the test. We will do that again this year as well. So again, those events are running, pretty much like we have done them in the past. Another event coming up, not next month, but in November, is our 8th grade tours. That week is the November 9th through the 13th. So again, keep that on your calendars. Again, the 8th grade tours don't affect our academic schedules. There obviously will be, middle schoolers in the building that day and visitors. So if you see them in the halls, welcome them. But know that there will be tours going on that week, both in the morning and in the afternoon. As we start the year and go through the weeks to come, again, remember, my door is always open. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, keep those lines of communications open, or stop me in the hall if you see me, if there's things that you need to talk about. I want to hear those things. I appreciate hearing about what's going on. So keep me informed. As we start to establish some normalcy now here in the year, you guys will see me stopping by your classrooms a little bit more. Just wanted to clear up, I guess, whether I'm there just observing or doing a walkthrough, kind of as in last year. If I'm doing a walkthrough, I'll come in and plop a seat down with my tablet or a Chromebook, and I'll take some notes and stuff like that, and you'll get a copy of those notes through the ETPES system. So that's kind of how you'll know if I'm doing a walkthrough or if I'm just there without any kind of technology. I'm probably just in there observing, seeing what's going on, getting a feel for what the kids are doing. Speaking of walkthroughs, those were part of our evaluation system with the OTES. Obviously, I'm going to still continue to do walkthroughs to provide feedback for you, even if you were a skilled teacher last year. If you were a skilled teacher last year, though, our evaluation committee has sat down and worked out that this year, you will not go through the whole OTES process. You will only have one formal observation during the year. So that's something that will give you a little bit of a break. But there will be one formal instead of 2 formal observations for those teachers rated skilled last year. Couple things just to wrap up here then. Again, we are giving the OGT test this year. The state of Ohio is kind of moving towards the end of the year testing for end of course tests. This year, again, we will only have to administer the end of course test for government. The rest of the end of course testing kind of comes along with this year's sophomore class. So as we get those kids as juniors next year, we may have to administer some additional end of course tests, but for this year, just the American government test is the only one that we'll be giving here. Again, as in the past, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you're giving out new detentions, or if you have kids struggling with failing grades, reach out to the parents, whether it be an email or a phone call home. Try to make contact with those parents to see if we can get them on board helping us with those kids, to try to get them doing the things that they need to do to be successful here at Vantage. So reach out to the parents in those situations. And then always, again, too, if you have positive things that you want to send out to your kids and their parents, use those little postcards that Mary Jo has, or again, you can call home or send an email too. The parents love to hear those sorts of things. I did put a link in our agenda today for our student graduate in the spotlight. For September, our student spotlight was Jacob Sukup. So again, if you see him around school, congratulate him. And again, if you have nominations, kids that you think are deserving, or graduates that you think deserve to be spotlighted, fill out the nomination form, or if you forgot how to get to that, send me an email with those nominations so we can continue to highlight the good things that our graduates and our students are doing here. Lastly, just a thank you on professional growth plans. I started to go through those. And when we do our formal observations this year, we will sit down individually and kind of talk about your growth plans and things like that. But I appreciate you guys doing those and getting those shared with me. So really that kind of wraps up my agenda. There was one thing that I wanted to share with you as an entire staff. If you remember last year, I gave out awards at our different department meetings. And I think last year we called those the Classics. This year I wanted to start off September with just a highlight on a couple of our staff members that are doing a really good job with collaboration and team teaching. And I know this just from a walk through and just going in and observing. But Sonia and Teresa at the beginning of the year kind of team taught down in the computer lab. They went through and brought both of their classes together and did some nice collaboration there with their classes. So I wanted to highlight that and tell you guys that that would be a great opportunity, that if you have a collaboration or team teaching thing that you might want to try, and maybe your classrooms aren't big enough. Obviously we have the computer lab and Mrs. Ratliff and Mrs. Yenstram, and utilize that to team teach together with their classes. So I wanted to just commend them on that and encourage you that if you have ideas of how you could collaborate with other teachers, I am supportive of that. So bring those ideas to me, start talking about them together, and we'll see if we can make them happen. Again, thank you for a smooth start to the year. Hopefully I don't have to use this video, but if you're watching it, obviously I did, because we've got a new baby at home. So thanks again, guys, and hopefully I will see you soon.